are just gonna read a math situation, and then we're gonna try to think about what it could mean in math, like what type of math we can use to model the action. Alright, so Tiara earned $12 a week doing chores. That's pretty good. She worked for 14 weeks. Does she have enough money for an Xbox for $400 to buy the Xbox? So first we wanna identify who are we talking about? So who's the somebody?
Me.
Tiara. Okay, so somebody wanted. What did Tiara want?
An Xbox.
But, how much does it cost?
$400.
$400. Okay, so Tiara wanted an Xbox, but it costs $400. So, what is she going to do to try to earn that money?
Save it up.
Save it up. Is there any details of how she's gonna save?
No, but
Maybe.
wait, yeah, maybe you could work more 14 weeks.
Okay, so how many, so 14 weeks. So for 14 weeks, every week, she's gonna be making money. And how much is she gonna make in 1 week?
12.
What about 2 weeks?
12 plus
12 plus 12, and then there'll be another week, and that will
12.
be
12 plus 12
12
plus
plus
12.
12. Okay, so we're noticing a pattern. What type of pattern?
Like
repeated addition.
Okay, so if we had to do repeated addition, 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12, 14 times, that would be a little bit inefficient. That would take us a long time. But we know that repeated addition is also a different type of math. What type?
Multiplication.
Boom. Oh, you guys are great. So multiplication. So we have an area model that we could use, where we could use rows of 12, and we could make 14 rows of 12 and try to quickly get that answer. Do you guys remember how to make an base 10 area model? Alright, so what two numbers would we be using? What would our factors
14
be?
and 12.
So 14, and,
times 12.
and what would the 14 represent?
What's 1 10 stick and 4 ones?
Okay, and what would it mean in our problem? The 14 different weeks. Okay, so you're gonna put 14 weeks, and you're gonna represent it with a 10 stick and 4 ones. So for 14 weeks. And how are we gonna set that up as an area model? Right here, so we got it. So for 14 weeks. Alright, so 14 weeks. Do you have your 14 weeks at the top? So 14 weeks, and each week, how much do they make? How much does Tiara make?
$12.
$12 every week. So we have one factor of 14, which you said was a 10 stick and 4 ones, and your other factor of
12.
12. Okay, so if we were gonna make an array of 14 by 12, you'd have to do x's 14 times, but we could use base 10 and make it a lot quicker. So make sure you built your 12 and your 14, and let's see what you would get if you use the area model to do 14 times 12.
We know that this would fit in there.
Because 10 times 10 is
Equals 100.
100, and that fits perfectly because 10 groups of 10 is always 100. And then what did you fill in next? What one's this here? And so 10 times 2 is
20.
20, okay. Good, and you're picking another one to do next. You're gonna do your 10s or your 1s? Your 10s. So 4 times 10.
4 times 10 is 40.
Boom. 4 times 10 is 44 10 sticks. And there's one more part. Every multiplication problem makes a whole rectangle. So I'm gonna fill in the whole rectangle there. And what part of the problem are you doing here?
4 times 2,
4 times 2.
which equals 8.
4 times 2 is 8.
2, 4, 6, 8.
Perfect. Double check. Alright, so you built an area model. Will you pull your area model away just a tiny tiny bit so we can separate our factors from our product. And we know a factor times a factor
Equals a
equals
product.
the product, so that is, these are part of the
Yeah.
equation, and that's the solution,
Yep.
right? Okay. Alright, so then some people at their school, they went straight to this. They did what's called the abstract area model, which is a representation of what you just made. So what was the factor that you put on the top?
14.
14. And
14.
you said that was 10
Plus
plus
4.
4. Okay, so a 10 and 4 ones. And then what did you put on the side for your factor?
12.
So you said that was a 10
And a 12.
plus
Oh,
how many
plus
ones?
2.
2 ones. Alright, so then we want to section it off just like you did. And you first said you did your 10 times your 10. And what was that?
100.
100. And then you did 10
Times
times
20.
2.
2 equals 20.
And 2 groups of 10 or
Equal
1 group of 20, or 10 groups of 2. 20. Alright, what one did you do next?
Next, I did, next I did, 4 groups of, 2 groups of 4.
Okay, so you decided to go 2 times 4 and do 2 groups of 4, and what did you get from that?
4 plus 4 equals 8.
Nice. And then we had one left, so how would we do this last one? The 10 times 4. Is it in your picture anywhere?
Mm-hmm.
Model.
10 times 4 equals 40.
40. And then what would you have to do with all those?
You have
numbers?
to add them all together.
Okay, so I'm gonna add these together, and I want you to count what you have on your board, and then we're gonna compare and see if we got the same thing, okay? So add them and you count them. Alright, write it on your board.
100.
We got 'em. Alright, so when I added them together, I just put them in their place values. That's really important, because sometimes people accidentally move it over, and that gets them the wrong answer. So that's why it's really nice to be able to add it on your board, but also see it. So if you and your group member had a different answer, you could say, oh wait, hold on, this is what it looks like here, but this is what you wrote down on your board. So I got 168. Did you?
Mhm.
Okay, well, how is that gonna help us with this situation? Cause Tiara earned $12, so here was her $12 for 14 weeks. So every week she was earning $12 for 14 weeks. How much did she get at the end of her 14 weeks?
168.
Dollars. Because 12 times 14.
Equals 168.
Okay, so she made $168, but if we were just to say that, we wouldn't have actually answered the question, because you told me she wanted something. So, does she have enough money for an Xbox that is
Nope.
$400?
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet, okay, could you make a claim about what she needs to keep doing to get closer to her
Keep more.
$400?
Save up.
Save up, keep saving. So we're gonna actually try to use something that we did earlier today, the double it rule. Were you guys in a group that talked about the double it rule? Okay, so the double it rule is when we take one of these factors and double it. So do you think her parents are gonna allow her to double the amount she makes per week?
Nope.
Do you think you're gonna be able to talk mom into giving you 24 instead of 12? No. But what if you worked double the amount of weeks? What if you decided to not just work 14 weeks, but keep doubling it and do it longer than 14? Do you think your mom would keep paying you?
Yes.
Okay, so now this is the hard part, because we have to think, what does it mean to double something? So doubling your 14 weeks. So here's 14, don't erase, oh yeah, don't erase anything yet, 'cause we might need it. Here's your 14, how would you double that? What does it mean, like, kinda like twins, like seeing it twice? What would it be if I doubled it and did it twice?
4 plus 4 would equal 8.
6.
So it would be 28.
Okay, so instead of having 14 weeks, if you doubled the amount that you worked,
For 28 weeks, maybe my mom would change.
she would keep paying you for 28 weeks if you did all that work. Okay, so if you could recommend that Tiara doubles the amount that she works, maybe she'll get closer to the $400.
Yep.
Could we see if she'd have $400? And how would you change your model just slightly so that you don't have to redo everything? Would you change the $12 that she's making?
Yeah,
Yes.
make it into a 14.
But you're gonna make your mom pay you 14, you're not gonna get $2 extra
I
out of your
mean,
mom. Okay, so you can't change the dollars, Mom's set on that. What are
You
we gonna
change
change?
this.
And what's that one mean?
28.
Because you were gonna work for 14 weeks, now you decided to work even longer for 28 weeks. So instead of just 14, we have 14 plus 14, that's double. And we're gonna try to see what would happen to the whole picture. So instead of just having 14, you're gonna have 28. So I'm seeing you move some things over. There you go. And it's gonna look like you might be able to use some of the things you already have on your board.
And now I have 28 weeks.
And that's
Times
28
12.
weeks times 12. Alright, so let's just move this aside for a second, cause what else could fit? What else could fit right here? In the 10 times 10 slot, 'cause now we have
Oh.
20 times 10.
Another 100.
Doubled it, alright. Yeah, move those aside, but don't move them too far, so you might be able to use them. So you made it not just 100 now, you made it 200.
Yep.
Okay.
And 10, we already know that 10 times 20 equals 200.
Okay, so now what about this? Before you had 10 times 2, but now you have 20 times 2. So what's gonna happen to that
We're
number?
going to double it into 4.
So you're saying you doubled your 100, now you're doubling your 20.
Into 40.
So you might have to move your ones out of the way. Oh, you actually did this one first, so that's okay, we can do that one first. So you wouldn't have that there though, you would have 8 right here. Times 10 instead of 4 times 10, so what would happen to those?
Those,
No, don't move them, that was great. You just only have 4 10 sticks there, and you need 10 times 8, and you only have 40. So what's gonna happen, how many more 10 sticks are you gonna need?
double it.
Yeah, also doubling the 10 sticks. I'm hearing you say doubling it a lot. We're doubling the hundreds, we're doubling those 20s, we're doubling those 10 sticks, so that's 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, so there should be 8, so double check.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So now you did this one first, she did this one down here first, so move your ones out of the way, and she said if it's 20 times 2, you have to double those 20s. So you have one little section left, and what do you think is gonna happen to those 8 that you had? If you can follow your pattern, do you think you'll have to get more or less?
Less.
Less? Okay, so fill in the 8 and see if you need any more, or if you should take some out. What are you noticing happening to the ones, Tiara?
We're making more because there's not 4 anymore.
So there was 8, and now we'll have to see how many there is after you do 2 times 8 instead of 2 times 4. Oh, you need these, sorry, for taking them from me. Oh my God. Alright, so how many is in there now? Now you have 2 times 8 instead of 2 times 4. How many do you have in there? You count them by twos? You have these right here.
16.
Okay, so now let's look at what we had before. We had 10 plus 4, we had 14 times 12. But you wanted me to change it to 20, which doubles the 10, times 8, which doubles the 4. And what happened when I did 20 times 10? What happened to the 100?
Made it 200.
Which doubled that. What happened to the 20 times 2?
Made
Let's look down
10,
there.
20, 30, 40, 50.
It was just the 20
10,
times the
20,
2.
40.
So what happened to the 20? Did it get doubled? 20 plus 20? Is
Yes.
that 40?
It got doubled
Okay.
to 40.
And then what about when we did 10 times 8?
Equals 80.
And it used to be 40. Is
Yeah.
40 plus 40 a double?
No.
Build it. Let's see. Because you said it was 40. Let's make 40. You said it was 40, but now it's 80. So is it double? 40
Yes.
and 40? Yeah, so that's a double too. And then we had 8, but now when it was 8 times 2,
Equals
2,
16.
16. So we doubled every single thing that was inside of there. What do you think we did with the total answer? Do you think we doubled the total answer?
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. So you guys write this, so write that 168, and I want you to add it together twice, just to see if our claim is right. So add that together twice, then count it up and see if we're right, if we did double the product, because we only doubled one of the factors. So I'll add over here, and you guys can add over there, and then we'll compare. Okay, so now count up what you have and see if that's what you got. So if we double the answer, so you did 8 plus 8 is 16, right? And then 6 plus 6 plus 1, and then another one, so plus 1.
13.
Yep. Okay, so our guess is that if we doubled everything in here, we could double the answer and it would be,
336.
now that would have taken a lot less time than rebuilding everything, but we need to make sure it works before we, just assume. So we said if she doubled her weeks, we could double her money, and it would be $336. So now check your model and see, is there 336 here? And then
Nope.
I'll show you if there's 336. So you're saying, no, it's not right, so let's count and see.
So this makes
Okay. You wanna do any trading?
Yes.
Yes.
We're gonna trade you
I'm
10
10,
of
10,
these.
6
Okay.
out for
Is
100.
that 10?
So, hold on.
Hold on. Okay, that's a good trade, so that's another answer.
Here
So
you
that's
go.
8 or 10. Moved it over. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay. There's your number.
Thank you.
Now we're getting closer to what you guys thought.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna have to fix this because that's not the answer.
Well, that's okay, because we're just asking how many you have in there. So you did some trading so you could figure out what the number was. So it doesn't have to look pretty anymore. Just figure out how many you have left. So now you have 300s. Just let's put those together. How many 10s?
3.
1, 2, 10s. And then how many 1s? These are hundreds, 10s. Put all your 1s together and let's figure out how many 1s, or you can trade in.
16.
Gonna trade any 1s in for a 10 so we can say the answer. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. All right, there you go. 10. Okay. 2, 4, 6, So, what did you end up getting now that you kind of see it in the base 10 structure?
330.
Five.
You got one right by your hand.
Oh, wait,
Six.
6. 336.
And that's our answer right here.
Yes.
And that's what I got over here.
'Cause it-
So, are you saying if we double the amount of weeks you work, we could have just doubled your money?
Yep.
That would have been kind of a little easier, just to double the money and double the weeks we work.
Yeah.
Now, does she have enough for the Xbox?
No, not yet.
So if we wanted to continue, if we doubled it again, if we doubled her amount of weeks,
We can get
we could go really quick, cause now we've learned something kind of quick. You said if I double the amount she makes, that would double the weeks, or if I double the weeks, it would double the amount she makes. So if you worked for 28 weeks, right, that's what you said here, what would the double of that be? The 28 plus 28.
Equals
Let's
16 from 8. So
Okay.
put the 1 up there. And
then
then
3, 4, 5. So
Okay,
that'd be
so if
5.
you worked for 56 weeks, which, oh my goodness, would double it again, that still wouldn't be a whole year, so that's still good. How much would you make? Cause you would make 336 the first week, the first 28 weeks. You'd make 336 the next 28 weeks. So how much would you make total in?
12.
6 plus 6 equals 12.
Okay.
Group your 1, make it a 4. Then that would be 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
Then go ahead, 3 plus 3 equals 6, so it'd be 672.
She's more excited about this than you. And now she passed her goal, so could she afford? Yes or no? So we could make a claim. If she definitely won't make it in 14 weeks,
No.
she will be at 168. If she doubled it and she worked for 28 weeks, she'd be at 368. If she doubled it again though, and she worked for 56 weeks, she could definitely buy it and have some extra
Yeah.
Yeah.
to buy her teacher a nice present.